Okay, we're live. All right, let me get started here.
We'd like to present Not Seen Before.
I think you want everybody to smoke weed.
Hey, this is Royce Gracie, and you're listening to the Inside BJJ podcast.
It was a shroom trip. That's racist.
I'm not a racist.
That's racist.
I'm not a racist.
This is Kurt Oceaner. This is Inside BJJ podcast.
God damn it!
Jiu-Jitsu sucks.
God damn it!
I think you want everybody to smoke weed.
Wow, Mr. Sarcasm.
This is Renato Laranja, and you're listening to the Inside BJJ podcast.
Welcome to the Inside BJJ podcast. I want to remind you, if you enjoyed today's program, please give us a rating, a review. Check it out on iTunes. You could also download the Inside BJJ app from your app store. If you have an Android or iOS mobile device, make sure you get it. It is the world infamous Inside BJJ podcast. Hey, we got a great show lined up today. I have the opportunity to speak to a friend of mine that I got to meet when my wife and I we just got into Italy. We just got in and we just got out right before shit hit the fan. But I got to make some really good friends out there in the jiu-jitsu community. And I hit one of them up and I said, hey, man, it'd be really awesome to have you on. I know you guys are stuck in quarantine and we've been kind of keeping in contact a little bit, and so I wanted to get my partner on here so we could talk about what's going on live on the ground, boots on the ground update right out of Italy. And I think it's important because in the United States, we're probably, I don't know what the number is, but we're probably behind 5 weeks, maybe somewhere around there. I mean, I don't really know. I'm not an expert, but I would say somewhere around there, 6 weeks, maybe, give or take, I don't know. And we're probably behind Italy in that sense, so we're following, and this is could be some good help, at least for our minds and the way we think about this, in the sense that we could talk to somebody who's a little bit further out in front, and they can kind of see what's going on. So I'd like to welcome my good friend, Barney Fagarazzi, to the Inside BJJ podcast. What's going on, Barney, man? Live from Venice, right?
Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, it's
Thanks
great.
for having me.
It's great to have you. We both are rocking the Jiu-Jitsu Squad Venezia shirt on
Yes,
today, right?
man. Very proud of it. Thank you, man. Thank you. That's a big gift.
That's dope. How you doing, my friend?
We're doing good. So luckily the situation here in Venice is better than in other parts of Italy because for those who don't know, Venice is a city in the northeast of Italy, but it's on an island. So an island is a bit easier to control. So we haven't had that many cases compared to, let's say, Bergamo or Milan. So situation is fine for now.
Nice. I was thinking, I had never been to Venice, and when we went to Venice, I don't know, I had no idea that Venice was like a maze. It's like there's no cars, it's just tiny little streets. You get in there, like Google Maps doesn't even work. You could literally get lost in there, right?
Yeah. So yeah, we've been lucky, I must say. We've been lucky because it all concentrated in the northern part of Italy. And other cities are in bad trouble.
Do you feel like because Venice is enclosed, maybe it's a little safer if the virus isn't there, right? It's easier to keep it out?
Definitely. Because, Venice is linked to the mainland only through a long, long bridge. And once you close that down, there's only boats coming. So you can stop them easily,
What's the situation like? Because, man, it was not too long ago, just a few months back, there was some pretty bad flooding, right? I mean, Venice always has a history of flooding, but this was like worse than normal flooding, right?
It is. It is. It was back in mid-November, and so we were kind of recovering from that, and then all of a sudden, mid to end of February, we started with coronavirus. So a lot of people are concerned about the economical, consequences that I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing when your business, gets flooded out, things get destroyed. You got to come in, you got to fix it, you got to work on it. But then when you can't even reopen up for business, how are you supposed to survive? Like, what are people doing that own restaurants and shops? And I mean, there's a lot of tourism that goes into Venice, and I know there's issues with that as well. But that's kind of like the lifeline, right?
Exactly. It's tough. It's tough because Venice is very expensive. So if you own a business, a restaurant, a shop, or whatever, you have to pay a lot for rent, a lot for everything, because everything that arrives to the city has to be brought here by either train or truck and then shipped over on boat to your business. So you have an additional cost usually.
Wow. Yeah. I can't imagine I complain right now about being a business owner, and I'm like, I can't run my business. Like, my business is closed. What do they expect me to do? But if my business had been flooded out 2 months ago, and now I'm fixing it, and I'm like, I'm going to open up, I'm getting it all fixed, and we're going to open back up. And then the government goes, nah, you're not going to open up because there's like a virus going on. Yeah, man, that's tough, dude. That's tough.
It is. We were complaining a lot. And, well, I think you complain until you see people dying.
Yeah.
So we're complaining about all these restrictions and the quarantine and stuff. But then when we saw on the news how many people were dying, we're like, no, this is serious. Business is important, but not as important.
We were talking for a couple minutes before we jumped on, and you were kind of talking about the thought process or where your state of mind was when you guys kind of first heard about coronavirus, and then it became a little more real, and then it was like, oh shit, we might have to close. Can you just talk back through that again and kind of walk us through how it happened?
Yeah. So the first times we heard about Corona, it was back in mid-December but it was all confined to China, Wuhan and stuff. And so it felt very far away. And maybe as Westerners, we didn't kind of relate to the lifestyle and all that stuff. So we were really concerned about it. I mean, we have a lot of tourists coming over to Venice from China, and so there were still a lot of Chinese people flying over to Venice. Some people were concerned, but not that many. So we kind of kept on going with our lives. So that was around Christmas and New Year's. Then January is quiet here in town, so we don't have that many tourists. It's the only time of the year that's a bit quieter now. So we kept on going with our lives, and then in February we had Carnival, which is a massive event. It's like one of the biggest events in Venice, and a lot of people celebrating on the streets and stuff.
How many people? Like, Venice has a population of 50,000. I heard.
We're 53,000 inhabitants in the city, and on a yearly basis we have about 27 million visitors.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So a lot of people flying in, a lot of people celebrating,
Wow.
And so we're having fun, partying and stuff. And right before the main event, which is Mardi Gras, they decided to cancel it. And so people are like, whoa. I mean, they're canceling the main event.
The reason you go there. Here? Yeah, right.
Yes.
It's like the party started, but before they bring the birthday cake out, they end the party. It's like, everybody go home. No cake, no happy birthday.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
Exactly. So people are kind of thinking about that more and more. They're like, whoa, a lot of people are losing money. And so there must be a reason behind that, right?
Yeah.
but still, there were a lot of misconceptions about coronavirus also, about the fact that, yeah, only old people get it, or only old people are really in danger because of it. And it's not more than a normal flu, all that stuff. So, for example, we kept on training for another 10 days after that, because there was no official guidelines to follow or anything. So it was, on one hand, we saw they had canceled Carnival, which is massive. On the other, they didn't tell us, okay, now you have to stay home or really watch out, right? So we kept on training, and for another 10 days. And then the first decrees started coming from the government. So they were like, you can keep on training, but only if you keep a meter between yourself and the next person. So
how are you going to do jiu-jitsu like that?
Yeah, we're thinking about the fact to switch to, Bushido and all that stuff with it. But didn't quite work out. So we were just doing, solo drills and conditioning, planks and jumping jacks, burpees and stuff.
Sure.
And people were taking the piss at the gym, oh, what are you guys doing? I mean, you're overreacting. It's exaggerated and all this stuff. So still, it wasn't easy to understand. And then around the 7th of March, so a week after that, they told us we had to stop training. We couldn't keep on training, right? And a few days later, they shut down all the gyms, and they told us we had to stay at home in a lockdown. It was kind of a soft lockdown, though. It wasn't the lockdown we're having now.
Can you describe that? Like, what do you mean by soft lockdown?
Yeah, so they encouraged you to stay home, but a lot of businesses were still running. A lot of shops were still open. So they kind of were encouraging people to stay home, but you weren't forced to. And people could still go out for a run, for example. They were just telling you to kind of avoid crowded areas, don't go to bars and restaurants. But apart from that, you were able to do pretty much everything.
And how was it received by you and your friends and your peers? Did you guys take it seriously, or were you kind of like, we're young, we're going to do whatever, you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Same thing. So we have this WhatsApp group, for training and stuff, and we're all complaining, right? Oh my God, this is a pain in the ass. We can't train, and we should do it anyway. And I was like, man, I don't know. It's jiu-jitsu. Someone gets hurt, and you don't have insurance because you were not officially allowed to train and stuff. So I was like, wow, guys, I don't think this is a good idea.
Wow, does it work like that? Whoa, I didn't even think about that. Like, if you get hurt and then they go, well, how'd you get hurt? Oh, I was doing jujitsu. Like, why the fuck were you doing jujitsu?
Like, well, so I was like, guys, this is not a good idea, but still I kind of wanted to keep on training, but I wasn't sure about it until my professor, Emiliano, wrote me like, this was a bit before, but he wrote me like, well, I don't think it's a good idea to train. I was like, well, I disagree, but if you're the teacher,
sure.
If you're the professor, of course, I'll follow you what you say. And then time actually told that he was right and I was wrong. So how we received it in the beginning was like a pain, unnecessary maybe. And after a while, we were glad actually that they introduced such restrictions.
Yeah. How much secret training was going on? Because jiu-jitsu guys, they're already doing secret training. Like, even when regular class is going on, right? There's always guys getting together like, hey, let's work on this on the side, How much of that was going on initially?
I must say, as I said, it happened very quickly. So not that much.
Not that much.
I mean, no, because from the time we were allowed to train to when they said, no, you have to stop completely, it happened pretty quickly. And then after they told us we had to stop, the first cases of coronavirus started coming up in northern Italy.
I see.
And one of the hotspots, one of the cities that has the more cases is Bergamo, and it's just a 2-hour drive from Venice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
shit, this is very close. It's not far, you know.
Yeah, I can feel you. I mean, I kind of had a similar feeling when we started having cases show up in the Bay Area, San Francisco, and Silicon Valley, because that's an hour and a half away from us. That's 90-minute drive, and you go like, dude, there's so many people who live here and they work over here and they drive back and forth. And then you knew like, oh, it's going to be here. It just hasn't got here yet, but in a week it's going to be here. Yeah, damn. What is the lockdown like now compared to the soft lockdown? Like, how is the lockdown now? Like, describe to me your day. Like, what happens?
Netflix and chill, you know.
Nothing, huh?
The lockdown now is very strict. So if all businesses are closed, all the factories are closed also. So they just producing the most important things, you know, like chemicals for medicine and stuff, and masks, gloves. The rest is just closed. In town, only things that are open are supermarkets and pharmacies. So streets are empty. So when you're leaving your house, you have to bring like a declaration with you where you're stating, like a statement where you say from where to where you're going, why you're going there. So you have to write down everything you're doing, and police are checking. So
wow.
if you don't follow the rules, you know, gotta get a fine, or you know.
That's yeah, we don't quite have that, but we have you know, if you're an essential worker, you get a piece of paper from the government, I guess. They sent them out, and it says that you can travel and do whatever it is you need to do for your job. Right. The police, at least in our area, they're not really stopping people, but they have authority now to give you a fine, like a $2,000 fine, if you're out doing stuff that you're not, you know, if you're not like going to the doctor or getting groceries or getting medicine, you're not really supposed to be out. But there's lots of people out. If I go down the street right now, there's people out. Like some people are in and some people are out. And they're like, fuck you. What do you know, and what do you do? Like, you're like, okay, like, don't get sick, you know?
Yeah. No, here it's more serious. So, if for example you've had corona, and you know, because they checked you and you know you've had it, and they catch you outside, then you gotta go to jail, man.
Yeah,
they're taking it seriously.
Well, I think that that's serious enough though. Like if you know you have it and then you violate that and then you go to work or you go outside and you get around people, you're an idiot.
You're a piece of crap.
Yeah. So what is?
And so,
go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I went to the supermarket today, and in order to get there, I had to wear a mask and gloves. And when you get there, you have to sanitize everything. You have to disinfect your trolley and stuff, and everything you're touching, you kind of put it in your bag, and nobody touches it anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, it's like I feel like the only preparation that I've ever had in my whole life for something like this is from watching movies.
Exactly. We're so not used to that. I mean, there's only 5 people who are allowed at once in the supermarket. The rest have to wait outside. We're really not used to that. It kind of feels so weird.
How long does it take to get into the supermarket? I mean, because they have that now here. Actually, you have to stand in a line, and only so many people get to go in, and you got to stay apart.
Well, actually, in Venice, we're quite lucky because it's a city that usually has supermarkets for all the visitors that come all throughout the year.
Yeah,
and we're not many inhabitants, so we have far more supermarkets than we usually should have. You know. So
you're still getting shipments of stuff that come in. Your food, supplies.
Yeah, daily. We have everything. Only thing that's kind of missing at the moment is yeast and flour, because a lot of people are baking pizza and bread at home, and stuff. But
Italians don't use flour, right?
but apart from that, we're good. We have everything we need. Yeah.
What's the camaraderie? What's the morale like amongst your jiu-jitsu team? Like, how are those guys feeling? It was a great group of guys, by the way. Like, we had such an amazing time, man. Like, especially the dinner. When we went out to dinner that night after training, dude, it was like, it was perfect, man. What is that? What are the fellas like? How's everyone doing?
We're in terrible shape, man. We're in terrible shape. You start the lockdown, you're all motivated doing solo drills at home and push-ups and stuff. And after a while, you just stuff your belly in front of me.
Right.
Apart from that, we can't wait to get back on the mats, and we're going to have a massive dinner together once we start training again. So,
man,
but we're doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to stay in jiu-jitsu shape without jiu-jitsu. Like, it's almost impossible to do. I mean, and I do other things. I swing my kettlebells, but I put on a good 10 pounds already. Easy,
me too. I just started jumping rope like 2 weeks ago to stay in shape. But apart from that, I think you can't get in a rolling shape, like sparring session shape, without doing sparring.
You have to spar. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of eating out of boredom now. It's like, I don't know. I'm bored. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna have a snack.
Exactly.
And then I was gonna say, I also tell myself, like, well, hey, you know what? If this is the end of the world, like, I want to eat as much as I can eat. I want to enjoy it all. Like, put some extra weight on. Yeah.
But what really surprised me is how the whole jiu-jitsu community is tight all over the world. I mean, once we're not training, we're all doing the same shit. I mean, we're all sitting at home in front of Netflix, eating rubbish and stuff, and it's quite surprising.
I think, and I've always said this with some of my training partners back home here, is that everyone I know that does jiu-jitsu, like everyone that's really into jiu-jitsu, they got a little something off up here. And without jiu-jitsu, they're kind of like, and I told my wife, I'm like, I'm becoming an asshole because I don't get to choke people every day. Like, I need to go do something, man. Yeah.
Exactly. My girlfriend and I are having arguments because of that, because I'm not letting all the power out.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Definitely. But let's see, because what's happening here? I mean, the morale is quite high in the team, but we really have no idea when we can go back to train, because since the beginning of this lockdown, they've been just pushing the lockdown every few weeks. They've been extending it.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, they were like, okay, it's going to end the 3rd of April. And then it was like, okay, no, the 3rd of April, but the 14th. And now they're extending it to June, July.
Wow.
So.
And what's the situation with yours? I mean, I think you're the only school in Venice, right?
Yeah. We're the only school in Venice. Oh, no, actually, there's another little school that's been open for a few months, but not directly in Venice.
What is the situation like with rent, with shop owners who have to pay rent and they have landlords? Like, how does this work?
Everything froze. So shop owners are not paying rent. There's nothing going on because it's just
Yeah, so
otherwise we would have shut down.
Yeah, I mean, we face a different issue out here where the landlords, they're saying like, you should pay rent. Like, you got to pay rent. And everyone's trying to figure out like, some landlords are realizing like you can't do it. Like, if your tenant doesn't have the money, they don't have the money.
Here it was exactly the same. landlords were kind of expecting rent to be paid, and then pretty much everyone was like, I can't do it. I mean, if you want me to stay here and do my business here in the future, you have to allow me not to pay rent for this time.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm paying. Yeah.
It's almost like everybody has to go on pause, like all the debt. Like you don't pay the landlord doesn't pay his people. Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to solve the problem? Otherwise, somebody's going to get hurt really bad, right?
Yes, definitely. And well, it's quite strange because I've never witnessed everything being on pause here. Because it's a little city, it's a small town, but there's always people and there's always something going on. And we're kind of very linked to nature. As you said, we've had high tide in November. And so the rhythm of the city goes with the rhythm of the lagoon. And now the lagoon is getting back into the city. So we have more fish in the canals.
Wow.
We have a lot of birds and stuff. And this is quite positive. This is quite the only positive thing I can see out of it. Yeah.
You're seeing the place where you live actually change because the traffic and everything has slowed down. And so the natural part of it is coming back. And there's a lot of nature. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. And there's other islands, right, that are by Venice, all the little islands, and you could take the tours and go on them. And they're very natural. Yeah. And I imagine those are probably doing better as well without so many tourists coming to them.
They're doing great, man. Yeah. So actually, I'm not moving from home, but I get footage of people, who live in different areas of the city taking pictures from the balconies and stuff. And man, the city's beautiful.
That's amazing.
Empty and quiet, yeah.
And maybe a town like Venice it's a historical site. It's historical. Yeah. It is a city of world importance. It's not just important to the Italians or the Venetians. It's important to the whole world. Like, it's a special city. And maybe cities like that, like, it was probably good that it had a break, a little break. Like, damn, all those people coming in constantly, like, and that was already an issue, right? Big cruise ships coming in and dumping off thousands of people and just kind of ransacking the town with no real care for, how they leave it. You know what I mean? Everyone's on vacation.
Definitely. So how I see it is there's two possible scenarios after this. Either people kind of realize how overcrowded the city was and how we should actually try to slow down because it was a rhythm that's unsustainable for such a small town. Or people get greedy. Once they get back to work, they want more and more and more and more because they kind of realize how quick you can lose your wealth if you're not working and rents are high and all that stuff. And so I hope we're going to move towards the first scenario where everything slows down a little bit.
Yeah. No, I feel you. That would be ideal if we could get there. And I mean, we might be able to, it's just when things pick up again, and the money starts flowing and then money talks and people start listening to the dollar and they don't care so much about nature anymore, unfortunately. But I have found that this time it has been positive in the sense that, especially like for us, we're really busy all the time. Like, we both work, we own a business, we're always in and out and just crazy, right? Always moving and hustling. Yeah. And, now we get to sit down and spend more time together as a family. Like, actually, like, let's play a game as a family. Like, let's spend some time together. Let's be together. Let's work on some shit. Yeah. I have so much shit in my house that has been waiting for me to fix or to take care of that, I've just been like knocking all that shit off, just getting it done. Cause like, if you're not improving right now, then you're wasting this time. Cause it may never happen again, ever, right? Ever. This is a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah. And same thing happened here. I mean, this is not my flat as you see, because it's way more beautiful. Voila. Can you hear me?
Hello?
So I moved here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry.
Awesome. So as you see, this is not my flat, and I moved here. This is my parents' home. So I actually moved here because they have a little garden, and I have a dog. So with the quarantine restrictions, it's very bad if you're having a pet because you can't, bring them out and stuff.
Right.
And
right.
so it actually brought us together. So we're spending more time together and stuff, eating, having nice meals, spending quality times and stuff. So you have to make something out of it. You get out of a bad situation, you have to find something positive.
Yeah, I think you do, and I think that if you can't, if it's just a negative, look, if it's gonna be terrible and it's the end of the world, well, there's nothing you could do about that anyway. You know what I mean? Like if this is really like some catastrophic, major, cataclysmic event, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Like, but other than that, you got to live your life, and you have to use it as an opportunity to be a better person and to move forward, and to whatever lesson there is to be learned, we have to learn it as individuals and as a society. What bothers me so much, this is happening in jiu-jitsu right now, at least in the United States, with there's a lot of gym owners that didn't want to close, and there's a lot of guys that feel like, hey, this is overblown, and there's a lot of people that go, no, it's not, and so they're fighting with each other over it instead of going like, hey, we're all kind of in this. And I see both sides of it. I see people that say, hey, you got to close up, like stay home, don't mess around, this is serious. And then I see the other side of it where people go like, yeah, but I can't pay my bills, and I have kids to feed, and I have like people depending on me, and what am I going to do? I can't let them go hungry. And so there's this like power struggle, and it's hard to find balance, and instead of working together, people are fighting each other over ideas, and it's sad and it's pathetic, honestly.
And it's exactly what was happening here as well until the government stepped in. So once a quarantine, a lockdown only works if everybody does it.
Sure.
If you're staying home and I'm going out and doing whatever,
Right.
We're not going to stop the virus, right?
Right.
And so it's exactly what was happening here also. A lot of people, well, you should keep on your business running. No, you should stop it and stuff. And once the government stepped in, we kind of had to do it. And we're actually benefiting from it now.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think, and I don't know how it is in Italy, and I wanted to ask you this actually, but I'll follow up. I'm going to say this first, is that in the United States, most people don't trust the government. And most people don't trust the news, and everything's politicized. It's like Donald Trump on this side, and then the Democrats on this side, and then everyone's fighting, and people don't know what to believe, and so they're just making their own personal decision, going, I'm going to stay home, or I'm going to go out, or whatever. Unfortunately, that's just the state of things right now.
Yeah, same thing here. After decades of having Berlusconi as a prime minister, we've lost all, trust in the government and stuff. But it's one of those, it's an exception. You have to trust experts. It's like if someone comes to your school, you're the black belt. They have to trust you.
Right.
And same thing is happening here at the moment. So even though you wouldn't, this time around, you kind of have to.
You have to. It's important. Yeah, I can see that. What kind of help is Italy getting from the European Union? What kind of involvement is the EU on any level involved, or is this strictly just like, it seems to me?
Yes.
It seems like the EU just kind of makes those things like, that's an Italian problem. You guys deal with it.
Yes, exactly. And the feeling that you have, of course, the feeling that you have towards a certain either problem or a topic is always filtered through the media you're getting, or the websites you read and stuff. So the feeling that we're having here in Italy was that the EU was not taking it seriously. It was like, yeah, it's the Italians again, the Southerners, and they're having a problem and they kind of can't deal with it. But now that the virus has spread pretty much all over. I mean, Spain is in a very bad spot also. France is not doing good. Germany is starting to have a lot of cases also. Now it's become a European problem. But in the beginning, people were very pissed off because they were having the feeling that nothing was happening,
Yeah.
Nothing was coming from the EU.
Yeah.
So here we have this kind of hate and love relationship with the EU. It's not easy,
Yeah. And I mean, the Italy's not a giant country. It's about the size of California, maybe similar.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
somewhere around there, geography wise. But I know it's got to be tough, man, to be in a situation like that. I feel for the Italians, and it's just not in Italy. It's all over. It's in like New York is a hot spot now. Los Angeles is a hot spot. San Francisco, Santa Clara. It's everywhere, and I don't know what the solution is yet, but I don't think out here, I don't think gyms are going to be open, at least until I think probably after the summer, personally. I don't think it's going to happen some people are thinking, in May, we're going to get to go back, and I think they're just going to keep pushing it out the same way they keep extending it where you're at.
Yeah, I think so too here in Italy also, because I mean, May is impossible. June, July, well, I don't know. In August, we're closed anyway because it's way too hot to train. So I think we're going to get back on the mat in September.
Wow. Yeah. I wonder if this will lead to an off-season for jiu-jitsu, at least in competition. One of the big kind of criticisms of the jiu-jitsu competitive environment is there's no off-season. Mm-hmm. There's all January through December. There's events one after another, and they don't coordinate with each other. They're all separate. And maybe it'd be nice to have an off season. Like maybe we realize, like, hey, we're taking summer off from now on. Like you can still train, but competitively, we're not going to do. Something, man. Moments like this, they really force you to put life into perspective. Because you realize that the balance of things, it's fragile, and something can happen. And this used to really piss me off at first, but like, this is how interconnected it is. Something can come from China and stop me from running my business in California. You know what I mean? Like a jiu-jitsu gym, it seems odd. It seems crazy, but that's how fragile the process is. And when you put it into perspective, you realize like, hey, nature is a motherfucker. You know what I mean? And like, and it's scary. And we men and women, humankind forever since our existence, we've been trying to protect ourselves from nature and from what can happen in this world we live in. And you can't always do it successfully. And sometimes I think maybe we were over dependent on like, hey, we could do whatever we want, live our life. We do this, we do that, we go here, we go there. And then something like this kicks in and boom, puts everything in perspective. And you start to realize like, hey, what's really important?
It's a massive reality check. It's a massive reality check because, I mean, we're living in a time where we're able to communicate from Venice to California through the internet. And actually, if you catch a plane in, I don't know, maybe 30 hours, you're there. So we're kind of used to having everything accessible. But this time around, no. I mean, nature is massive.
Yeah.
So,
And it really does make you realize in your life, like, what's important and what's not that important.
Definitely. Yeah.
One thing I realized is I love jiu-jitsu, man. I'm missing it so much.
Yes. In fact, what I didn't know is how dependent I am of jiu-jitsu, because really sometimes I'm a piece of shit here at home.
Me too.
Sorry for my girlfriend. Yeah.
And the thing is it makes you realize how important it is to you, but it also has made, especially these times, have made me realize how important the people in jiu-jitsu are to me. Like, I love jiu-jitsu, the art of jiu-jitsu, but the people in jiu-jitsu, that's a whole nother part of it that comes with it that you learn about later, and you realize, like, dude, this is actually why I love it so much, or the people. Like, I get to sit here and chat with you. I just met you in October. I just flew out. We didn't fucking know each other. You know what I mean? Like, you just show up. What's up? We start talking, hanging out. Boom. You know, and then you feel like, hey, I know this guy. I don't know you, but I know you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, you can understand a lot of people, a lot of things about a person when you roll with them or when you train with them in general. And what I really liked is how the jiu-jitsu community responded. So a lot of good coaches putting out their free tutorials or free, trainings. And so, for example, what I'm doing here, I'm going all through the stuff I have of Octavio Couto, our head coach. Because as you said before, you have to make something out of this time. You have to if you're not improving on the mats, you have to improve at home. You have to study and keep on going. But the people are kind of special. The jiu-jitsu people are kind of special.
Yeah, they are. And as an instructor, you know, you got people that they're looking to you. They're like, yo, what are we going to do? What are we doing? What should we do? And you can't be crying your eyes out every day going, I don't know what to do. Oh, I'm so depressed, or I'm down, or I'm pissed. That's you can't be that way. Like, I've been telling my students, and I tell people that do jiu-jitsu, like, right now, life has the mount on us. Like, it has a heavy mount, and it's smothering us, and it's like, rah! And we want to panic and give up and, like, put our arm out, like, take the arm bar or get my neck, you know? Exactly. I'm done. I want to tap to pressure. You got to fucking stay in the game. Got to breathe, man.
Yeah. Breathe. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Dude, thank you so much for joining us, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I really do appreciate you spending the time with us. And Stella and I, you know, there's a trip of a lifetime to come see you guys. And we always say, like, dude, we got to go back. Someday we're going back, dude. So we will see you again, brother.
We're waiting for you.
Dude.
Okay, thank you very much, man, for having me.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
Be
We're going
safe.
to wait for you here. Ciao.
All right.
You
bye.
too.
All right, brother.
Take care.
Bye. Oh, man, that was awesome. Barney is a real good dude. Barney Fagarazzi. He's from the Jiu-Jitsu Club Venezia. I apologize. Looks like I lost some phone connectivity somewhere in there. I mean, we still got the audio, but it looks like the video dropped out. Still, you know, trying to bring video to what you're doing when almost all of what you're doing was audio previously is a little tricky. And it's a one-man show. Like, I'm running everything, motherfuckers. I'm running the cameras. I'm running the audio. I'm running the soundboard. I'm running the recording studio. I got monitors and cameras, and, like, I'm tracking 17 things at the same time because I'm a genius like that. Self-made motherfucker. Nobody get to tell me what to do. But, man, I'm really glad I got to talk with Barney. He's a real good dude. And, you know, a lot of crazy shit's going on in the jiu-jitsu world. And I've been jonesing for jiu-jitsu. Like, I realize I'm a butthole without jiu-jitsu. Like, I need to train. I need to be training. I need to get in on it. I need to feel it. I need to be active. And, you know, when I don't get that, it's like, I don't know, man. I turn into an ass. I'm just regular, everyday life things start to, you know, it's like, where's the fucking jalapeno jack cheese? It's like everything turns you into the Tiger King. Like, the smallest infractions, like, all right, motherfuckers, someone's getting got. It's just, you know, I need jiu-jitsu. I'm getting strong. Oh, I'm getting strong. I'm swinging that kettlebell every goddamn day now. I'm working my way up to that fucking 80-pound kettlebell. I'm going to fuck some motherfuckers up when I get back. I'm like 207 pounds right now, though, man. Like, beef, dude. I got beef. I'm bringing beef now, like serious beef to the game. But I like it. I like it a lot. I want to let you guys know, hey, I'm running Zoom classes, and you guys are welcome to join from the podcast. But you got to DM me on Instagram, and I'll send you the password. I know a lot of you guys, and I could vet you out pretty quick. I don't want no fucking dumbasses from Reddit joining in.
I don't like the way you showed that technique. When I was watching John Danaher's DVDs, he puts his hand on the ground. He doesn't put it on the leg.
Some, like, 2-stripe white belt pontificating.
I spent 23 hours and 23 minutes on Reddit every day answering questions.
It's fucking dumb. Everyone's freaked out at Zoom, too. Get over it, losers. My privacy. It's like you willingly put all your shit on Facebook, all your shit on Instagram, all your shit on Snapchat, TikTok, everywhere else in the whole goddamn world, and you're worried about Zoom.
Zoom was sending some personal data of mine over to Facebook.
Well, yeah, because you're live streaming from Zoom to Facebook, jackass.
Zoom? Did you know people can watch your Zoom videos later if they... Oh, God. Oh, what are you doing?
Are you jerking off on the screen? Like, duh, dum-dum.
Personally identifying features.
Like, well, your face is all over the internet already. Get over it. You've been fucking around with social media for a decade, and now you're worried about Zoom. I don't know. You know what? I could use another 60 days of lockdown. Fuck it. I'm going to be defiant, like the guy who gets out of the hole in prison. The warden's like, have you learned your lesson? No. Like Judd Nelson in The Breakfast Club. You want another one, Bender? Yes, that's another one. You want another one? Yes, that's 2 weeks. I got you 2 weeks, Bender. That's me. I want to stay in isolation. I want to put on 17 more pounds, work my way up to that 8. I don't want to come out until I can swing that 80-pound kettlebell. Then I want it to be over. Yeah, this jiu-jitsu world's crazy, man. Some crazy shit going on. And I don't know, I think what's happening is nobody's doing jiu-jitsu. And it kind of sucks if you make your living on jiu-jitsu. Thank God, I'm a multi-skilled motherfucker. If you think all I do is jiu-jitsu and podcasting, you're out of your mind. I got my hands in all kinds of things, and I'm fucking borderline genius. So I could do all kind of shit. And so, I'm not too worried. But if all you do is jiu-jitsu, like if that's your whole fucking thing right now, like, goddamn, that's scary. That's tricky. That's you got to be willing to be adaptable. You got to be versatile. If you're going to dig ditches, you got to dig ditches, man. Whatever you got to do, you got to do. That's just the way it works. That's my philosophy on life. That's my philosophy on everything. Sometimes the easiest way to get that big pile of dirt from this spot to that spot is to get in there and fucking start doing it. Like, quit talking about it and just do it. Get to work. Some crazy shit going on with De La Riva, man, which is, it's weird. And I take big, serious issues with a grain of not disbelief. I'm not saying I don't believe people, but I'm saying, like, I don't jump on the vengeance is mine, saith the Lord bandwagon, like right out of the gate. There's so many people who the court, the people, the way people analyze things, and they make snap decisions, right? Just snap decision, man. I saw a video and I watched 62 seconds of it, and I know everything about this video now, and this is what happened, and this is what should happen, and this is what I say. And it's like, dude, you're so far off the mark right now. It's not even possible to bring you back into the ballpark. But Claudia Doval, who was a De La Riva, team member, athlete, came out and made some allegations against Ricardo De La Riva. Obviously, he invented the De La Riva guard. Like, what motherfucker has a guard named after him? Keenan don't even have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but, she came out and said, hey, man, he basically had some sexual misconduct. I don't know if it was like, I listened to it and I read the article, and it, like, I don't know how to classify it. I'm not an expert in that situation, but I do know this. This is what I do know, and this is how I do things, right? If somebody comes to me with an allegation about something, somebody says, hey, this happened. Well, if it's serious, then I fucking take it serious, and I look into it deeply. And if that means calling the cops, getting the authorities involved, 100%, that's the game we play. That's what you do. And the reason you do that is you have to take those things seriously. You have to treat those things seriously. And people making allegations have to realize, if I say something, there will be an investigation. The police will be involved. This will be 100% for real. And I don't have a problem with that. And if it's for real, the motherfucker should go to jail. 100%. 100%. If you're raping students, if you're out there doing crazy shit, you're fucking dumb, dude. You're dumb. You're dumb. You're fucking up, and you deserve everything you get. But if you're not, then you don't deserve it. And the problem is that in today's world, it only takes one person to read one thing on the internet, and then this super snap decision comes out, and there's hasn't been an investigation. You don't know all the facts. You don't know all the details, and it doesn't mean you treat anybody. You don't treat her like she's lying, and you don't treat him like he's lying. You go, hey, this is a dilemma. She says this, he says this. Let's investigate. Let's figure it out. Let's find out what really happened. Let's get down to the bottom of it. Let's keep our little personal opinions and platitudes and all that. Let's shut that the fuck up, because that's nonsense. And intelligent people, they don't pay any attention to that. It doesn't hold water. Let's really find out what's going on. And I would also encourage people this. If you have been the victim of something like that, you should call the cops, man. You should go to authorities. You should get them involved. If something really happened to you, you should go to the police. Do that. Do that first. Before you go, and I don't know if Claudia did this, and this is not directly in reference to her at all. So before you white knights get your panties in a wad, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not speaking directly about her case. I don't know about her case. I have no fucking clue. I'm not her and I'm not him. I hope he didn't do it. I really do. I hope he didn't, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't sound good. And I do know this. Let me tell you this. The reason why you get into jiu-jitsu and you're like, I want to get a black belt. If you want to get a black belt because you think it's going to help you get laid, then what do you think you're going to do once you get a black belt? You're going to try to get laid. Duh. So your reasoning was wrong in the first place. But if you want to get a black belt because you love jiu-jitsu and you're trying to be good at it and you fucking love the art and you love the struggle and you love what it represents, then that's going to be the person that you are once you get the black belt. The black belt doesn't change you. It might make some enhancements. It might open some doors, but it doesn't change the core of who you are. If you're a shitbag, you're a shitbag. 100%. And there's a lot of shitbags in jiu-jitsu. I hate to break it to you. There's a lot of shitbags. And it's not always the people that vocally people are going, that guy's a shitbag. Not always. There's some shitbags that nobody's come out and said they were shitbags yet, but I promise you, I know some shitbags. There's a lot of them. So it's tricky. I just think, hey, man, if something happens, fucking turn fuckers in, man. Let's make it real. If you really want people to pay, then make them fucking pay. If you don't, if you're just trying to get some what the fuck ever you're doing, then you're the one that's wrong and you should have to go to jail. That's how I feel about it. Because when you start leveling accusations, if there's no merit behind them, whoa, you're fucking somebody's life up in a big way. And that's not okay on either side. It's not okay to do that to somebody because that fucks somebody's life up. You fucking harass people. You become sexually inappropriate with them. You cross lines that shouldn't be crossed. People are people, and there's a variance. Some people say shit, and you're like, why would you say that? Other people are more conservative and modest. They were raised differently. Some people, they don't have a filter. They fucking do things. They don't think it's out of line. There's a swing. There's there's a little bit of an allowance. It's like a rubber band. There's a stretch. You can kind of stretch it a little bit. But if it breaks, if you stretch it so far that it breaks, you went too far. And some people are sensitive, and some people are like, hey, so we've lost this ability for us to sit down and talk about things as humans now, right? So if you cross the line, it's hard for me to come to you and go, hey, I wasn't comfortable with that. And that person might go oh, shit, I had no idea, man. I'm sorry, I won't do that again. Oh, no, we don't like that. We have to make it, this guy, this lady, this person did this, and I'm indignant. Why? I want to get likes. I could be elevated in my status now. It's stupid. It's fucking pathetic, man. This shit needs to be rooted out of jiu-jitsu. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. I seriously fucking hate it. I hate this shit in jiu-jitsu. It fucking ruins the martial art and the sport and the craft that I love so much. It ruins it. It fucking ruins it, man. So I don't know. Maybe it's time to start segregating jiu-jitsu, males and females. Women and men, don't fucking mix. What about that? Oh, man, you're a sexist. I'm not being a sexist. I'm being fucking real. Like, you know, like let's change it up. Let's go, hey, the girls train with the girls, the dudes train with the dudes. Don't fucking cross-pollinate because there's too many fucking too much shit. That's how it used to be. Used to be more like that. In fact, even in Stockton back in the day, there were gyms that had policies of like, hey, the men and the women aren't training together because it causes too many fucking problems. I don't know if that's the solution. I'm just saying. It's like, God damn, it's sad, dude. It sucks. It sucks. It bums me out to hear this shit. It really, really bums me out. And I think some people, they deal in this kind of news. Like, they love it. It's like they're excited. Ooh, I can't wait to go online with this. It's like, damn, man. This is a black eye in the jiu-jitsu community, for sure. Either way, if he did it or if he didn't do it, it's a black eye now. So it fucking sucks, man. And I hope everybody's okay. I hope she's okay, you know. I hope it was not what it sounds like. But if it was, then motherfuckers need to get in trouble, period. That's just how it goes. Speaking of getting in trouble, Dana White. Dana is been named as a victim in an extortion lawsuit, which is kind of crazy, right? So apparently UFC Dana White, he responded Sunday to a civil lawsuit filed against him by a man who went to prison for extortion. He called it bullshit. This guy, Joshua Ernesto Ramos, he sued White for breach of contract. He claims that White was supposed to pay him $450,000 for not disclosing White's name after Ramos's 2015 extortion case. Wow, this guy went to federal prison. Listen to this. This is how ballsy this guy is. I just found out that a bullshit lawsuit was filed against me yesterday. This is from Dana White. I'm reading from ESPN.com here. This is from Mark Raimondi. And he says, this guy went to federal prison for trying to extort me over 5 years ago. Now he's hired a lawyer who is also a convicted felon, and he's trying to extort me again for $10 million. He got no money from me last time, and he won't get any money from me this time. Wow. It says that according to White, appeared in a video having sex with Ramos's live-in girlfriend, a dancer at a Las Vegas strip club, during an encounter in Brazil. The woman, whom the suit says White had been seen over the course of several months, taped herself in White without White's knowledge. After the encounter, Ramos was arrested by the FBI when he tried to charge $200,000 from an unnamed businessman, whom the civil suit says was White. Wow. So this guy, basically, he tried to extort Dana White because he had a sex tape. He wanted money for the sex tape. Dana wouldn't give it to him. So the guy got in trouble, and he went to jail, right? And then the guy's saying, hey, you're supposed to give me money to be quiet about the sex tape. You never gave it to me. This guy sounds like a full-blown idiot. Like a full-blown idiot. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. This is it right here. What a moron. Yeah, so that didn't happen. You're not gonna shake down Dana White. You're gonna shake down this Las Vegas player. This guy's connected, right? He comes from Boston. He left Boston because, like, you know, low-level street dudes, or I don't even know if they were street. I don't even know what level they were. They sound like they were guys I wouldn't want after me. Were after him. He hooks up with the Fertitta brothers. You know, I'm sure Dana White has resources that this jabroni in prison doesn't have. I wouldn't fuck with Dana White. If I was going to fuck around with somebody, I wouldn't fuck with him. It must be a rough week for Dana, honestly, because there's another report coming out from a fake Ariel Helwani account, which is pretty funny. It's Ariel Helvani. There's a V instead of a W. It's so good. He just copies Dana's style. I mean, Ariel's style. And he said, Dana White and Vladimir Putin have reached an agreement on travel arrangements for UFC lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov to come to the United States. He will fight Tony Ferguson. It's happening, folks. We'll go on as scheduled. No, White had to step in and go, bullshit. It looks like Tony's going to fight Conor McGregor now. And I want to look up that card real quick, which, you know, is pretty awesome, but I really wanted to see him fight Khabib. Let's see. I thought it was going to be McGregor. Let's see what the card is. Let me see if I got anything on ESPN. Oh, this is actually from Ariel. Oh, it's previously reported it's going to be Tony versus Justin Gaethje. Dude, I don't want to watch that shit. I don't want to watch Gaethje, dude. I don't want to watch it. Fuck it. I don't want to watch it now. Tony keeps getting ripped off. This sucks. I'm tired of Tony getting ripped off. Every time he gets in there to get a fight, somebody rips him off, man. This is ridiculous. This guy's top-level dude. Can't catch a break. He cannot catch a break. They got to make him the champion. They just give him the belt. Look, dude, you're the champ. It's obviously you are the champ. You have to fight not just the guys that were put in front of you. You have to fight injuries, viruses, weird, crazy shit. Like, goddamn, man. Poor Tony. I feel bad for Tony. Tony's a good dude. Well, we'll see what happens, man. I'm gonna watch the fight. You know, people are gonna watch the fight. Like, it's gonna be a good fight. I'm still gonna watch him. I'm gonna watch him fight Gaethje. I am. I'm not gonna not support him. I just really wish he could have got that fight. Khabib or Conor, those are the two guys that I think everybody wanted him to fight or see. I want to see Tony fight one of those two guys because he deserves it. He deserves the opportunity to test himself against those guys. He deserves it. He's earned it, and he deserves it, and it keeps getting taken away from him. And I'm sorry, but I don't think Justin Gaethje, or however you say his last name, Gaethje or whatever, he's a tough fighter, man. He's really good. But Tony deserves that elite level spot now. He has worked and earned it several times now. He deserves it, man. So I hope that, you know, he gets that opportunity, but it doesn't look too good. All right. So, hey guys, thank you for joining the show today. I want to remind you to give us a follow on iTunes. Go to the Inside BJJ podcast. Give us a rating, give us a review. You also can check us out inside BJJ Academy, 10th Planet Stockton. When we open back up, you know we're going to come strong. You know that's what's up. Make sure you give us a listen on iTunes. Make sure you download the app, all that shit. Follow me on Instagram, Inside BJJ. Join me on Zoom. Send me a DM. Thank you very much, my good friend, Barney Fagarazzi. Jiu-Jitsu Squad, Venezia. We will meet again one day, motherfucker. I'm coming for you all in Venice. I'm going to get you guys. Rah!